Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another continuation of what is apparently a recurring theme. The builds during the live streams. It came from the live stream build, which is also, it came from the workbench. A lot of it was built over right here on the workbench, out of frame. Okay, so what we've ended up with, we built a VRD. We apparently build VRDs around here. But I wanted to build a VRD that was a little different, so I think I did that. I think I was relatively successful in building a VRD that isn't precisely a VRD. It is a Venix because I bought that cab. In the order from A-Main were a VRD kit, the carbon kit, never buy a stance, and that Bitty Design Rock1 cab. And then I got the Rock1 cab in my hands and I was like, oh, this is really made for a Phoenix. Like, really made for a Phoenix. Made for a Phoenix to the point that you'll notice something conspicuous here if you're aware of Phoenicians. So it has the thing in the front to bolt the pivot point in. It has all the holes pre-existing to mount the full Phoenix cage on the back. It really does give you a different look. I mean, this is a radical departure in appearance from what a Phoenix looks like. This ain't no FJ45. So as soon as I saw that, the sort of the direction that I had in my mind, what I was anticipating for this VRD, took a little turn. So, in truth, the only things different, the only things making this not just a out-of-the-box VRD is over here in the box we still have the side skirts, and we've got the bumpers, these guys right here. We've got the side skirt and the bumpers, and we've got the rear cross brace, this guy right here. Because for the cross brace, I took an old Phoenix bumper mount, and you know how it has the X piece and the part to mount the servo, and cut that out, and then put a hole in it so that the pumpkin has a place to go. So as you can see, that was a fitment that's supposed to happen. These actually happen to mount through existing holes. It's not super pretty. It's not the cleanest thing I've ever seen. There's like a sight hole through there. But it works, and it lines up with the two pinholes on the Phoenix body. And I made these two little aluminum guys with a standoff spacer in the front, and that's where the pin goes through. And that was about it. You'll notice it has body posts installed. The stance body, the body that comes on a stance, is a 0-second add because I didn't move any body posts. I didn't do nothing of that sort. The little side pieces are a little wide, but boop. So it is definitely still a VRD. You could drive it like that, or you can take that up. But because obviously the body posts don't interfere. That drops right on like that. I mean, I prefer this look, which is why we went with this look. It is built in the, I believe I titled the live stream in which this was built something like Nothing If Not Predictable, because I'd gotten some thumbs downs because somebody said, all you build you just put a fusion and everything. And so you know what? We've built VRDs before and we've built Truggies before, and it's got a fusion in it. I had to absolutely make sure to put a fusion in it. There was no other available choice, honestly. And we're gonna and of course the Flash Hobby servo. There's a reason. There's a reason that more often than not you're going to see a Hobbywing Fusion SE and a 60 kg Flash Hobby, because they work. And let's not forget a Radiolink RC4, because those three items not only work, but $80, $60, $60. So it's $200 worth of electronics, and you're done. You've outfitted. And that's Amazon pricing. If you shop on AliExpress, places like that, you can get it for less. But I need it sooner rather than later. So we got a little run out on the spur because of the slipper eliminator. You can actually see if you watch it. Does it show? I don't know. How close do we have to get it before you can see it? Yeah. So in general, this vehicle would be making in a similar situation. I'm trying to think. I'm digging through to try to think who is running no slipper and gets no spur noise. Like, I don't know why it's so hard to ensure that those eliminators are centered or concentric, but every single one of them. I mean, the camera's not showing it, but I can watch it going, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just running out. It's run out. It would be completely dead silent were it not for that run out. When I assembled it during the live stream, it was built with small springs, the little mini springs, and even though they were 1.2 pound, which are the same rate as the red band incision springs on here now, it sat way too high. So I had to take the shocks completely apart and pop all the pivot balls out and go through the whole process to put the factory springs back on it. I should have just put the factory springs on it to begin with. We rolled it across the scales mere moments ago, and there is some small penalty for our vanity in contrast to a VRD fitted with something like, say, a stance body or a cliff hanger, a typical tucked body, something you would see on this. We've lost a bit. It's 5842 weight distribution, coming in at 3,069 grams. So we added some weight. We added about 300 grams, but this will be the first time here that a VRD, built as a VRD, has been driven on something other than S4 comp pins from Injora. That has been the go-to tire because we have 3 sets here and we just kind of move them around. And now the XHX pins, the S5 pins, it's really tough in the purchasing process to justify buying some other tire because you're basically doing it for cosmetics. The Tusk is the tire I consider to be the greatest all-rounder tire. They go out of stock all the time. They do happen to look great. I mean, no one would argue that that a pin looks better. These look better. But when they are in stock, you're talking about almost twice the money off of buying a set of pins. And pins are cheat codes. They will enable you to cheat. They will enable you to do things that are not possible for the thing that you've built. The VRD is very capable. I say that it is the best RTR on the market, and I showed you just a moment ago the sum total of parts not used from the build. That. And I would have used those, but I wanted to run that body. So when you buy a VRD carbon kit, don't buy a stance, and you put it together, that's it. You put your wheels and tires on it, you put on your body, you put your electronics in it, and you go. There's nothing you explicitly need to do. The sum total of modifications made to this are to accommodate the body. And okay, I take it back. I'm not being 1,000% truthful. I have a drawer full of these Vanquish 32 pitch 15 tooth pinions. I don't like them. They're worse at making pinion gears than they are at getting their spur gears centered. So it would be even noisier. That is a very old Robinson pinion down there, and I think it might be a 14, so I think we might be geared down a tooth. So it's we've strayed from stock. Changing a pinion gear, I don't think alters the DNA of a vehicle. It's just something that you do because Robinson makes the best pinions in the world, and it's not a subjective opinion. It's just a fact. And that fact is emphasized by the fact that that pinion gear in there uses a standard driver to insert it. And I don't think they've used standard drivers in their pinion gears for, I would say, at least a decade. probably longer. So I have pinion gears that are teenagers and still show no shark tooth, no signs of wear. So this is how we are going to, this is the installment that is in place of a ghost ride. We don't have an opportunity to ghost ride because this had to be, I didn't want to put the whole thing together, drive it, get it all marred up, and then drive it again. You are going to learn one thing for sure. We're going to learn a couple of things. We're going to learn what is the performance impact that I have placed upon the VRD by making it into a Venix. The ultimate end goal of the Venix is to actually make a Venix, in which my dream, and it helps facilitate the whole, that's how it comes with the little box on the back to cover the dig servo for a Phoenix, but I had to cut it out because that's pretty much exactly where the shock towers are. My dream at my core is to put a VFD twin in this and then have it be a Venix. So it will be a VRD Phoenix. And we'll see if that dream gets to be realized, but we will see what the impact is of, this is somewhere between a Phoenix and a VRD. It's mostly VRD, but what is the impact of the heavy body? I don't think a lot of people, and we say heavy, because it's heavier than this. It's heavier than this. It's heavier than like a Power Wagon cab or something like that. It's going to be heavier. It has the whole rear cage from a Phoenix. It has the whole rear box area of a Phoenix, cut down as much as I could. It has added pieces. The pieces we added way more than the pieces that we took away. That's how we got to 3,069 grams. The weights are not perfect. We're running about, front left is toting about 100 grams extra right here, which is odd. Now I did scooch the battery forward as far as I could, but it has definitely made me contemplate looking at the front, because the CG will be good. It is making me contemplate small battery in the nose, in the box, up here in the nose. I don't think there's enough room in the front of a VRD to run it on servo, but I will definitely take a look at it. It's running at 2200. I think it would probably be better served running like a little 850. But for the purposes of doing this, this is what we're going to do. Deep offset. So we are right at 250, right about 10 inches wide, which is about where I like to be. So it's going to be artificially enhanced stability. This guy was built primarily, oh yeah, did I finish the thought about the thing that we're really going to see beyond any sort of performance improvements or opposite of improvements? My brain is toasty. Is that this color is completely different outside when it's not under 6,500K shop lights. It's a completely, radically different color. Is tusks on 38%, added weight without changing any springing or damping. We've introduced variables. This thing was in the whole intention, the reason this got ordered, the box is still right here. The whole reason that this box got ordered was because I built in a build series the 10 Pro, an Axial 10 Pro. And the experience made me, we have no VRD here. I've built them for other people. We have a mullet build that is a pseudo VRD. I've built and tested stances and VRDs and did not own one. And now we own one. And then of course I had to make it not a VRD. So in the tests, it will be running this. We're going to see this head-to-head versus 10 Pro running this body, because then, voomp, it's a VRD again. Because I got to know, they came out right around the same time. They're definitely aimed at the same market segment. I want to see. But for today, what we want to see is better or worse. I mean, I like the look of this over this is incomparable. This looks good. And I realize that looks are subjective. How much have we sacrificed for vanity? We've got some stuff outside that will answer that question for us, probably. So, in my zeal to wheel, I had performed no calibration procedures whatsoever. And I learned this when I tapped it into reverse. There's a little, like the pallet liner, a skid, the plastic skid that like an air conditioning unit would come on. That's the like little starting spot. I'm gesturing with an open hand over here right by my side. There's an old truck box that got abandoned in my yard, and it is now my storage for garden materials like algicide and bug spray and stuff like that. You can sit on that box and put your feet on the skid. And when I backed up like this to get onto the skid, it was an absolute rocket ship in reverse. And I was like, wait a minute, you didn't calibrate this. And if that's forward, that means it's backwards. And it indeed was. Grabbed the card, did the programming. The drive back was, if anything, the suspension is hyper plush. Like, here's the thing. It's playing a trick on my mind. We've got 1.2 pound springs with a little underdamped. We've got Brorb inserts in the tusks. The tusk is a tire that's about a 97. So this is mostly just point and shoot stuff. Little drift there. Oh, the rear wheel was just pivoting. I'm not really noticing the 100 grams. It is just continually messing with my head because I'm seeing a Phoenix. But it's not a Phoenix. It also does that thing that during the build this was definitely noticeable. It looks so tall, like comically tall. Got a little lift there, but I think it was mostly steering related. Yeah, looks like a Phoenix, feels like a VRD. I wouldn't go so far, you know. We've used the descriptor for a couple different builds, particularly the 10 Pro hyperstable. This doesn't quite have that feeling of hyperstability, but it also doesn't have the cut it loose twitchiness of a stance or a stock VRD. There's a little more weight down on top of it. It's like when I see when it comes off here and drops that wheel down, I'm like, that's not right. Phoenix don't do that. Because my brain sees the cage and thinks C channels, despite the fact that my Phoenix is a Zoku, so it's closer to this than it is to a stock Phoenix. I don't know. It feels, it's just drivable. It's absolutely drivable. There's added weight, yes, from the body. I don't feel it at all. I have heard not a single body noise at all. It just, we're so used to seeing absolute slam wagons with the body as low as they can get it, cut as much as they can, that when you see a body mounted at like normal height, we're not hearing any noises and no cutting. The Bitty Design Rock1 comes pre-trimmed. I had to cut the box off the back that would cut because that's for a Phoenix, and nothing, no other cuts, nothing. I made no trimming, no cutting, no nothing. It's just stock. So this is a stock VRD with a stock Rock1 on it, and you know what? It, at the very least, it seems to work. I was most concerned about tusks on 38%. And then, of course, I think about it, and I think, why would you be? You have a Zoku Phoenix on tusks, and that's 46% when it's in big. You know, side hill is the worry, obviously. Side hill is always the worry. Yeah, this, honestly, it kind of feels exactly like a VRD. I thought that I would have to make some sort of accommodation to springing because we're adding the worst sprung weight you can. The true sacrifice for vanity. This is body weight, which is pretty much as high as you can get it. Look at the drive, though. The inserts are there. The little, when you get the, that's 38%. The 10 Pro does not work all the time in 40. And the VRD has no choice but to work all the time in 38, which is why I want to make a full Venix. This is very nearly the cheat code level of driving experienced on the box stock, quote unquote, RTR VRD. Might as well try a bad approach. If I can get that rear over that lip, and fighting 38% is not easy, try to cut it back this way. Get over. Oy, oy, oy. Could hear the pumpkin there. You just skirt it over. Okay, shuttling right. If you shuttle too far right, you can't get out of that, or you can. I don't know. Little three-wheel motion action there. It is a near perfect level of stability. It doesn't feel so planted that I feel like I'm giving up traction in order to hold my position, to keep it rubber side down, as one would say. This is, and as it, I don't know how, I had concerns, right? I don't know why I was so concerned. Because I didn't change what it is, I just changed what it looks like. Yeah. Who would have thought, man? 1.2 pound. Can you? Yeah, you can. Yeah. Hold on. Had it. I can see it. It's driver rear. Little mini lip right there. Run it up. Nope. Wouldn't be a first go. We didn't get upside down for a minute. I had that. It always looks better when it's that first shot. If you are one of the very few to whom this is your first time here, thanks for joining. I need you to know, for purposes of clarification and edification, there it is. There it is. We rocked the oneer here. The camera that sits before me, little John Cena, this guy right here. He gets turned on. I hit the record button. We recorded pretty much the entire session, if possible. And then without stopping, so I move from one setup to the next, and then we turn the camera off, and then we edit it. So there's no, the canyon has no orchard to cherry pick from. The footage is the footage. So do you remember? Think back. Do a jog shuttle. Scroll back and look at the tires when you first saw them appear on the bench. This vehicle had never been wheeled on the ground. I want us to go together. I want dig right here so bad. We've got 38% of dig. I want all dig just to make it feel more secure. But that is proper secure. Never out of control for an instant. Swing it around town, run it back, run it up. Why did I have any tusk-based concern? Oh, and this is with no added weight. Oh my gracious. Still a VRD. If anything, oop, you bellied up. You bellied up in a bad spot. Okay, we can get off. We can get off of that. Yeah. If anything, I like the feel a little better. Like it feels there's a plantedness. So the VRD can get away with some unsprung weight. Typically, VRD is about 100 grams away from a 10 Pro. In this configuration right here, he's about 400 grams heavier than a 10 Pro, which this wheel tire combo is no, it's going to be really close, because I've been running the pins on Endura silicones, and this is on 3D, so they're about half the weight. That's close to 200 grams off right there. So the body's adding 200 grams? No, can't be. It can't be that heavy. I couldn't bring myself to weigh it. I couldn't bring myself, that is a drop, full shear drop right here. I couldn't bring myself to weigh the body independently. Oh, if anyone had any questions, why all the Fusion SEs? Well, that front wheel has got to, there it is, has got to pop free. Yee! Did a little cat land. Because, well, let's let the machine learning do it. Go down there. There you go. That's why Fusion SE. If you can do that for like 80 bucks, sometimes 70 bucks, sometimes 50 bucks, then do that. But Daphne's over here. Yeah, I mean, when your brain starts to think this is pin level performance out of an actual tire, J-Concepts Green is still is it. If we were to gender J-Concepts Green, he would be him. It is the compound to which all other compounds are striving. I'm sitting directly behind this camera. I can't see that line. I know the line from, well, building it and running it a number of times. I can just go through. I can just run through it. I know that the camera does not often show relative ferocity. It does not translate the steepness as well as I would hope it would. That is a pumpkin in. That is a pumpkin in. Yeah, the maneuverability is very there. Pop quiz hotshot. Do you like this better than a VRD with a cliffhanger? Yes. 100%. It looks better. It looks like a truck. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. When you look at it, it looks like a truck. Looks like a Phoenix, drives like a VRD. We'll try easy side, soft side. 10 Pro cannot do that part right there because it requires portal clearance. I'm in this situation right here, and I'm using extra throttle to get clear. It's cheat codes. It doesn't even need the pins to cheat code. Okay, I came down that a bit brisk, and it doesn't matter. What? So in the spirit of that oneer, well, I should have enabled cruise control. We're gonna head over to Hannah, Montana. This camera has no stabilization on it, so I do apologize for how shaky it is because I'm holding the other camera under my arm. And I don't do drive and film. I'm a tripod man. Life brought to me by a tripod. Set this down right about here. Get that pivot. Set up camera 2. And bosh. We'll pick a spot here. I like this back side here on the mountain because there's nothing that has clearly established itself as the line. You can pick whatever you want. Ooh, that's really dusty and dirty out there. We just skated. Stability. Okay, try a little more cut this way. Okay, definitely got too far out into the dust. 38%. It doesn't work. It would 60% of the time. Okay, 38%. 38% of the time it works every time. There are not a small portion of the stability here is brought to us by that big drag, that big underdrive. Are we going to get too far out? No, we're going to get it over. Oh, look at the chalk coming off those tires. I need to see if I can pivot. Yep. Yeah, I'm using a little to help clean the surface off underneath the tires. Now we're going to swing it around over the top here. This is not wise. This is almost the furthest you can fall in the canyon. If we fall right here, we can't fall farther. But I think we're good. We're good. I love it. I love it. I'm so pleased. It's early. That's not birds. The squirrels are chirping. It is a good time. This is good. This is good times, everybody. Woo! Oh, he's so good at descending. Like alarmingly good. 38%, man, is 38% dig all the time. And it works 38% of the time every time. I never know what's going to actually show in between the shoot and the edit because those rocks are pink in that early sunrise morning light. Oh, that's high up. That's real high. Oh, that's an insert right there. Brorb, check him out. Straight out of Norway. Doing the thing. Oh, that little slide. That little kick slide was perfect. This is one-hander lunar lander. Oh, is it going to hold it? Oh, it's going to hold it. That's such a low line. Oh, my gracious. Shouldn't be. It shouldn't ought to be. Yes, we've added weight. We've added weight in the exact spot you don't want to add weight. Sprung. High sprung. It ain't matter. The 1.2s are doing the... That caught low side and was gone. That was okay, I want to try a higher entry on this. Not this part higher. That's a washout right there. And it did not wash out. So I want to get up right there. Okay, then we just one-hander. Oh, that's yellow good. This boy might be blue, but he needs a name. Okay, he is a V-Nix, but he needs a name. Something blank, the V-Nix. I don't know. They kind of come upon them themselves. Like they give themselves their own names usually. So I'm positively feeling electric this morning. The side hill was my worry. Can you? That's a belly hang right there. There it is. Just gotta find the spot. Easy peasy. Oh. It's as stable as I want it to be. Not too much. That's messy. Might as well just pivot around the top. That came out so clean. Now with the 38, how far are we gonna shoot right? Pulled it back, just didn't pull it back enough. Position there. Nice slow creep through there. Yeah, this is power creep stuff. This is full power creep stuff. The sacrifice for vanity is like in the low single digits percentages. The differential in performance between this on an S4 comp pin and what body did we run? Stance? No, the VRD was on had a Fusion Pro and a Tough Color cliffhanger. The performance differential is single digits, low single digits. I don't notice the body weight at all, apparently, other than in the fact that there's stability. There's increased stability. It's like we've got active stability. ASM is turned on. It is well and truly something else. Just absolutely punching up that face. Cut it inside, wrap it around. This is power creep. This is power creep. This is power creep. Because what we're experiencing here is, I saw a moment of I think it was a YouTube short a couple days ago, where he was showing a picture of some, like footage was running behind the talking head of some built rock crawler, and it was on like massive tires and had insane amount of travel. And he was saying something along the lines of, I paraphrase obviously, people put money into the rock crawlers in order to make them more capable. And as you make it more capable, it lessens the impact of all of the skills that you've spent time developing, right? It's leaf springs in reverse, what I have long called power creep. You keep getting your rig more and more and more capable so that it can just annihilate every line you point it at until the point that it's on easy mode. This truck is very nearly easy mode because I have a usual little loop that I go through here. This can do it with such ease. Ordinarily, we come down here and then we see what we have to do to swing it around town. Come around right here. Then we skirt the side of White Ball. We come up over that side like that. We cut in right here. We saw the little amount of push. I have not checked endpoints on the ground. I set them on the bench. We come across right here. Is that a rollout moment? No, we have tailor-made 3D printed inserts. And then we skirt around and we somehow knock that off because I look down at the camera. It's easy. It is easy like Sunday morning. That's not bad. It's not necessarily bad. We all, I'd like to say, I don't know if deserves is the right word. Have we earned it? I feel like we all deserve an easy mode, right? Like, someone had recently said to me that they think 3 is the minimum number of rock crawlers. And in my heart of hearts, I think that's probably true, because I learned that with bicycles, you kind of need 3 because they break, and these things do break sometimes too. But in this, it's more about capability. Like you need an everyday, you need something like this, and then you need something that is like the driver is holding a cigarette in one hand and a beer in the other, and it's got a cooler in the back with little cans in it, and you know, you got an all-in one way, you've got an all-in the other way, and then you've got the thing that you do. Would this be the rig of all the rigs that I own? Would this be the rig that I picked to drive exclusively? No. This thing is fun in how good it is, and deceptive in how good it looks for how good it is. But it wouldn't be my outright. It's so good. It's so good. In terms of a first drive, those who are familiar with the channel, those who have been here before, have we seen a better first drive in recent memory? I can't think of one. As I mentioned, this is done as a oneer. I got about 30 seconds left to fit in an outro, and I usually take longer than that. So I'll take this opportunity to thank you all so very much for watching. I hope that you tune in for whatever we have next. I invite you that in between this time, which is now, and that time, which is then, to do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you again here from the canyon. We even have, I close that out with enough time, Do hit us in the comments below. All of the usual things. We live stream every Friday. We are running out of time. I will see you in the next one, everybody. Thanks for stopping by the canyon. We well and truly wish you were here.